Tes, yuk kita mulai. Apa judulnya? Alan Wake. Bukan John Wick ya? Tes. Oke, kita lanjut. Alan Wake. Gas. Mana gamenya? Epic Games. Bukan Epic Games ya, Alan Wake. Bukan coy. Yuk, kita mulai. Masih terlalu nyaring coy. Kenapa? Suara aman ya. Gas.
hoped I could find a car from there.
Selamat datang Yuki. Ntar lagunya perlu dimatikan. Oke. Yes, kita main game horor. Waduh. Kabarin aja ya kalau kamu pusing. Soalnya ini cepetan gitu. Game apa ini? Game horor. Intinya ya game horor. Musuhnya adalah kegelapan. Gak ada yang bisa diganti ya? Ya sudah, semoga kamu tidak pusing ya. Bisa mungkin saya tidak memutar apa namanya nih, kameranya terlalu cepat. Semangat ya, iya. Semoga saya bisa semangat walaupun saya mobil. Weh, kaget.
The darkness that was pursuing me was growing
Alalala.
stronger, and it was taking over everything in its path.
Loncat kemana nih? Oh, sini ya. Semoga saya semangat ya. Palingan dikaget-kagetkan mulu ya. Weh. Aduh. Keserupan. Aduh. Barang-barangnya kehantuan. Aduh. Keserupan hantunya, guys. Aduh. Kok lewat. Lo mati.
On the opposite shore. I hoped I could find a
Hantunya
car
ini
from there.
kayak barang-barang gitu ya. Hantunya keserupan. Barang nih ya. Barang yang keserupan, bukan hantu. Hantu yang keserupan. Kagetlah saya.
The darkness that was pursuing me was growing stronger, and it was taking over everything in its path.
Aduh. Iya. Yuk, full screen ya. Bentar. Nah. Aduh. Gitu kah? Nah. Iya, gitu ya. Walaupun nggak tahu, mungkin menghalangin ya. Aduh.
On the opposite shore. I hoped I could
Ya,
find a car
mati.
from there.
Jelas maksudnya. Mungkin harus disenterin dulu ya. Pakai pakai flare. Saya lupa. Iya, sama-sama. Aman lah. Kayaknya pakai flare dulu. Pakai kembang api.
The darkness that was pursuing me was growing stronger, and it was taking over everything in its path.
Cepat. Saya mau lewat. Nah gitu tuh. Aduh. Udah. Emang gak jelas musuhnya. Aduh. Ditandain sama barang-barang. Udah, jangan ganggu saya. Saya datang mau hancurkan semua musuh di sini.
As a teenager, just starting to get interested in writing, Stephen King had been a source of inspiration to me. I thought about all the inanimate objects that had come to life in
Oke,
his books.
checkpoint.
No one is safe in a good horror story. Certainly not the protagonist. That's what makes them fun.
Nah, center yang
This was
gede.
anything but. The darkness could possess anything, and it was getting closer.
Saya dapat kopi. Minum kopi. Udah, pause ya. Nah, kayak lanjut. Waduh. Oke. Jadi ngelawan barang-barang kerasukan tadi pakai center, iya, musuhnya kegelapan. Jadi kita melawan kegelapan dengan cahaya, gitu maksudnya. Yuki. Emang gak jelas ya musuhnya. Mungkin kalian kalau yang suka takut kegelapan mungkin paranoid dengan game ini. Karena tapi bikin juga memotivasi kita untuk tidak takut dengan kegelapan. Wih. Oke, berhasil. Iya, memang itu. Konsepnya memang keren sih. Keren tapi aneh. Apa nih? Inlet you can hurt them. Kamu bisa melukai mereka dengan cahaya katanya. Aku takut gelap Kak, tapi lihat game ini masih aman, oke. Halo Sin WRLD. Kelas. Iya, saya bukan raja ya. Drens Pitlow, kukira yang punya nick channel cowok. 2 admin bang. Adminnya ada 2. Welcome bang. Drens. Wih, kursi Virgil. Apa? Terima kasih. Intinya dari cerita ini sih kegelapan menciptakan segala sesuatu dari karya musisi atau karya dari penulis lah. Woi kabur. Woi, Dutch. Waduh, ditabrak. Aduh. Anjir. Bicara kurang. Oke. Anjir. Waduh. Ay, jangan tabrak. Kabur. Kukira pacaran kah sama admin satunya? Enggak, saya gak suka pacaran. Cuma apa ya, kolega doang. Weh, kolega nggak tuh?
I had never been this glad to see the sunrise. I had a couple of hours to get to the coal mine.
Oke, berhasil kabur.
The coal mine wasn't far now.
Oke, saatnya kita ke tambang batu bara katanya. Kalimantan juga ada tambang batu bara.
Today, I would meet the kidnapper, and he would give me Alice. I wouldn't give him any other choice. A drowning man will clutch at a straw.
Pesan tadi mobil ada. Bisa dipakai lagi nggak sih? No, mas bisa ya.
Little by little, without realizing
Oke,
I'd come to believe that the story in the manuscript was coming true. The current
dia sudah siang,
narrative had
berarti
taken me deeper and
selamat
deeper
kita.
into dark waters. Alice had been taken from me. Barry was probably in jail. I was a fugitive from the FBI. The whole world taken over by the Dark Presence was trying to
Aduh,
destroy me.
handingnya
It
bermasalah.
all felt real, but it matched a textbook case of insanity.
Nah, apa dah? Sini kah? Oke, betul sini. Harus lihat map di ujung. Ya, kalau terang gini kita aman dari kegelapan. Itu maksudnya. Kan masih siang ya. Weh. Ngaco nih.
I was early.
Nah, udah.
I was supposed to meet the kidnapper at noon in the main building. The coal mine was quiet. It was a museum now.
Museum. Oh, namanya museum batu bara. Apa nih? Manuskrip. Apa nih? Erupsi ya. Di bawah Cauldron Lake. Danau katanya. Oh gitu, jadi lawan maksudnya pas gelap aja ya? Iya, memang pas gelap. Dunianya nih benarnya dikuasai gelap.
I didn't want to go outside. Cops had to be looking for me. The noon sun turned the place into a sauna. The day dragged on. Different scenarios ran through my mind. Ways of how I'd torture the kidnapper to get Alice back. Or the different horrible things he could have done to her. I imagined her dead. I had no way of knowing she was still alive.
Istri
It
si
was
Alan
killing me.
ini diculik katanya.
I was running on blind hope. It was all a waste of time. The bastard never showed up.
Wake!
Where the hell are you?
Change of plans. You know where Mirror Peak is? It's a big mountain north of where you are. You follow the path from the mine, you can't miss it. There's a lookout point there. I'll be waiting.
I'm through being jerked around
You
by you.
want to see your wife alive? Because if you do, you better watch what you say to me. Do we understand each other?
I want to talk to Alice.
Yeah, and I want the manuscript. Don't keep me waiting, Wake.
Hello? Hello? Ah! I'm gonna kill him. I had to get to Mirror Peak.
Nih ya, istrinya diculik sama penculik itu. Bentar, ini ada malam nih.
It was close. Maybe closer than ever before.
Keluar dari building katanya. Oke, ada jalan ke bawah. Nunggu malam, kenapa harus malam ya? Gak bisa siang, kenapa harus malam gitu? Oke, bukan barang kesurupan ya. Kasihan. Nih, memang itu ya. Sang penculik maunya buku, bukan buku tapi kayak karya kita, karya tulisan kita, novel kita. Kalau enggak, kita bakal dikembalikan oleh penculik istrinya kita, si MC, si Alan ini. Oke, berhasil. Aduh. Aduh. Oke. Aduh. Oke, dapat flashbang ya. Ya, memang gitu ya. Coba, sebenarnya saya tahu akhir cerita dari game ini, tapi mager. Pernah menematkan tapi tidak di live kan. Ya bapak, sekalian refreshing ya. Soalnya sudah lama tidak main game ini. Apa tadi? Keserupa. Orang-orang yang kesurupan. Mana nih? Naik ke atas kan? Oh, di sini ya. Aduh. Gila, disuruh jatuhin diri ke situ. Ntar pakai flashbang. Oke, selamat.
What the hell?
Apaan tuh? Wih. Gue harus lewat situ, tapi tegangannya jatuh.
I had to find a way to avoid electrocution.
Ya, Ge. Iya, memang harus menggunakan flashbang. Sorry ya, harus tabrak-tabrak. Emang gitu mekaniknya. Hajar aja semuanya. Yo, checkpoint. Gas. Lah, mati lampu. Ya, di sini anehnya juga kemampuan kegelapannya. Bisa bentar, road mana tadi? Itu ya. Main mobil aja nggak sih? Supaya aman ya. langsung terbalik. Oke. Sudah. Dapat achievement. Bantai-bantai musuhnya. Aduh. Waduh, terlalu OP pakai senjatanya. Harusnya musuh-musuh yang GG aja duet di pakai pakai full error. Kita lewat sini ya. Aduh, ada orang. Sudah. Kita harus ke lokasi ini ya. Apa nih? Trust no one in the dark. Jangan percaya siapapun di kegelapan katanya. Jangan percaya siapapun. Maksudnya ya, monster-monster tadi ikuti katanya. Ada mobil. Apa tuh? Oke. Mati lampu.
There was no way the flashbang grenades were standard power
Gak main yang
company
remake
equipment.
kah? Lo ada yang remake. Remaster kali ya. Gak nemu saya di remaster. Di PS kali bang. Bang Nip. Gak terlalu juga. Belajar dikit-dikit lah. Nah. Nah, di situ kayaknya musuhnya ya. Bisa naik mobil nggak? Nggak bisa. Nggak jelas sistemnya. Alan Wake 1 sama 2 selisih berapa tahun sih? Kurang tahu. Kayaknya sudah bertahun-tahun kalau gak salah, sekitar 10 tahun atau 11 tahun. dari lore-nya ya, kalau aku gak bisa bahasa Inggris, ya mungkin harus belajar lagi ya gitu ya. Karena aku juga nggak terlalu bisa bahasa Inggris, apalagi bicara secara native gitu. Ya sih, apalagi main kartu Yu-Gi-Oh tadi, harus bisa baca kartu bahasa Inggris. Aduh, dihajar. Atau aja. Aduh. Yang mati. Seru Alan Wake apa RE? Belum main Alan Wake 2 jadi nggak bisa membagi yang mana serunya. Tapi RE seru sih. Apalagi yang 3 dan 2 kemarin. Di mode hardcore ya. Kemarin main RE 3 lumayan lah di mode Nightmare ya. Permainan cepat ya. Permainan cepat aja. Wes, gerak sendiri coy. Checkpoint. Oh, menang disuruh ke situ ya. Karena kita ke situ dulu ya. Ada apa nih di sini? Oke, thank you. Suara orang udah pas. Aduh. Aduh. Waduh. Ngedodge. Aduh. Aduh. Oke. Aman ya. Ramai kali
I had
musuhnya.
no real plan. I was going to give the kidnapper all the manuscript pages I had for Alice. If that wasn't enough, I'd hold him at gunpoint and make him talk.
Apa nih? Woi, shotgun. Shotgun aja ya. Supaya banyak. Aduh. Ada dia hajar ya.
plan. I was going to give the kidnapper all the manuscript pages I had for Alice. If that wasn't enough, I'd hold him at gunpoint and make him talk.
Ellen Pfeiffer ya. Ada pada saat kan. Nah, lebih OP ini. Aduh, di belakang. Oke, sudah selamat dunia akhirat ya. Oke, mantap. Jangan. Masih El ramai kah? Masih El ramai kah? Aduh. Aduh. Oke, mantap. Mantap jiwa.
The
Ada
dark
kuburan
presence was
kah?
moving ahead of me in the same direction I
Kuburan
was
kayaknya.
going. A cold feeling settled
Lupa-lupa
itself in the
ingat
pit
kan
of my
nih game
stomach.
ini.
Was it going for Alice?
Iya, masih mencari Alice katanya.
The graveyard shift may cause cancer.
Wah. Laju. Udah, satu doang. Ayo, cepat. Saya mau cepat mengalahkan kamu. Saya tuyul ya. Nah. Untung terjebak kayak. Oke. Wepek. Aduh. Weh, bisa ngetik lampu. Hidupin lampu di situ.
The place was dead, a ghost town. Had been for
Yeah.
decades, maybe a
Wait.
century.
Waduh. Waduh. Untung. Rasain jatuh. Mana nih? Sini kan. Weh. Atau beginian lagi ya. Oh ya. Oke. Nggak ada beginian lagi. Waduh. Oke. Mantap. Yang hampir jatuh. Mana lagi? Tes. Nggak apa-apa. Kali aja suaranya nggak kedengeran gitu soalnya. Gila. Oke, kali aja. Dapat kunci. kunci untuk termos. Tertutup.
Anything outside of riding is a struggle. I feel ill. I managed to make my way downstairs. There's a shoebox filled with books and
Nah,
papers
ini
by
diri
Thomas
kita
Zane.
nih.
It's very hard to focus, but I managed to read some of it. He's a poet, and a good one. He writes of muses and creators summoning fabulous things from a magic lake, using his powers to shape the world of a realm of gods and dreams and demons, dark things that wait for a chance to slip through, wearing the flesh of men as
Ini
disguise.
MC-nya nih.
Zane writes about himself, his girlfriend being taken over by a dark presence, about growing scared of the lake. Zane believes it's a mirror to the
Kita
gaping
kayak
void of
diawasin gitu.
darkness above, where some Lovecraftian presence
Kita
lurks.
kayak
I
diawasin.
crawl back upstairs. I'll borrow these things for my story. They ring true. They fit.
Jadi ceritanya gini, Yuki. Dunianya ini ada kegelapan gitu. Kegelapannya itu berasal dari Cauldron Lake. Cauldron Lake itu adalah danau. Terus danau itu memancarkan kekuatan kegelapan gitu. Jadi kekuatan kegelapan itu lepas ke dunia manusia. Terus segala sesuatu bentuk karya seni, apa itu, kayak lukisan, terus lagu, puisi, ataupun cerita atau novel bisa menjadi kenyataan gitu. Tapi ada bayarannya gitu, kalau gak salah ya. Jadi kekuatan jahat itu lepaslah ke dunia. Intinya kegelapan di sini bisa menciptakan sesuatu dari imajinasi manusia lah. Makanya terjadi hal-hal yang aneh gini. Tapi ada entitas juga di dalam sana yang ingin merebut dunia manusia. Dan iya gitulah. Entitas jahat lah. Iya sama-sama. Soalnya saya baca info ceritanya di Drum. Kalau kamu
The kidnapper had sent
penasaran
me a
sama
text.
ceritanya,
The message
bisa
was full
nonton
of spelling errors and insults.
channel
It
Drum.
was telling me to hurry up.
Tapi banyak spoiler sih di situ. Saya juga nonton di situ. Iya, sama-sama. Sama-sama lah, Yuki. BTW kita seumuran gak sih? Umur aku udah 4. Aduh. Aduh, gak pernah. Aduh, uang peluru ya. Ya sudah lah. Aduh. Iya, 24. Kita seumuran nggak? Aduh, El jatuh. Takutnya gitu, saya terlalu mudah disebut kakak gitu. Gitu Yuki, kali aja. Malah kebalik, saya mungkin harus bilang kamu kakak. Sabar, mau loading. Iya apa? Boleh aja. Nanti kita seumuran gitu ya.
Without warning, the headache stabbed at my brain.
Sakit kepala.
Alice?
Nah ini, suara Alice.
I'm losing it. I gotta get out of here.
Aman, panggil aja Yuki, oke. Ya, kali aja kita beda umur gitu. Nanti panggil Yuki aja. Aduh. Kecapean ini MC-nya. Nah, sudah sampai. Aduh, mau gempa lagi kah? Tiba-tiba. Oke, Ella aman. Jadi istrinya diculik ke-8 ya? Iya. Enggak, bisa jadi juga. Tapi si MC ini ngiranya istri kita diculik oleh penculik itu, bukan ke-8. Masih belum sadar dia.
I'd have to make my
Gitu,
way
Yuki.
up this mine shaft in order to go on.
Oke, disuruh ke atas
Maybe the
katanya.
machinery could help me with that.
BTW, informasi tentang saya sama legasi atau admin satunya ada di komen ya. Please komen naik buat itu. Kalau aja kamu penasaran. Oke. Tuh, saya tuliskan. Nah, itu informasinya. Wih, jatuh. Hampir saja. Iya, si si admin satunya nulis. Nah, apa ya, interpretasi dia terhadap saya begitu ya. Interpretasi nggak terlalu ya formalnya. Pandangan dia lah ini. Tuh, takut jatuh. Takut jatuh. Oke, jadi saatnya naik lagi. Iya, gak apa-apa. Oke, saya santai. Aduh, takut jatuh. Bentar, sudah cek poinnya. Menurut gue sih, Bang Haris itu pemalas deh orangnya. Kadang mut-mutan gitu. Kadang rajin, kadang mager. Tapi kalau rajin, rajin banget. Tapi kalau lagi mager, mager banget. Ya begitulah Bang Haris ya. Tapi hobinya memang suka main game. Sama suka main HP lah.
Great. Another paper. Just great.
Aduh, aduh, aduh. Dia nongol ya, ultah ya. Lupa di on kan Bang Haris tuh kayaknya. Ada gitu. Minta dia nongol ya, ultah. Saya cekkan dulu ya. Di Nightbot katanya. Ya kita sambil santai doang, Red. Dia nongol ternyata ultahnya. Di komen ya. Jadi update Bang Haris sih kayaknya. No. Oke, sudah di-update tuh. Di setting dia jadi membership. Gak jelas dia. Sekalian lah edit timer. Oh gitu, iya. Sama-sama, iya. Sama-sama ultah 17 Agustus. Orang-orang pada kemerdekaan kita lahir ya. Emang gak jelas, emang agak lain. Kan gak jelas, agak lain. Yuk, lanjut. Berapa jam main? 1 jam ya? Baru 1 jam kita main. Oh tuh, pohon tumbang. Terima kasih, sama-sama. Aman-aman. Atau kamu kan mau seperti rayakan satu di Indonesia. Hah, emang lain ya. Emang agak lain. Tapi beda ya, padahal 17 Agustus dia sama. Anilnya sama tapi sifatnya agak beda gitu. Ya orangnya mageran. Kadang kalau ada niat gitu. Tapi walau mager tapi gimana ya? Kadang baperan orang. Kalau serius bisa suka bercanda tapi kalau diseriusin kadang suka serius banget. Gimana ya? Kalau bercanda kadang serius, kalau serius bisa bercanda kayak kebalik gitu. Iya, begitulah. Susahnya punya temen gitu. Mas Haris kan suka main game sama main HP. Kalau sih suka apa? Suka apa ya? Suka main game juga, tapi game yang susah. Game-game yang susah ya. Weh, game susah. Terus apa lagi ya? Saya bingung. Suka apa? Suka random lah. Suka-suka hal yang random. Aduh. Wah, di belakang. Suka nge-scroll sambil nonton YouTube lah. Mampir-mampir ke channel orang. Itu kayaknya sih. Di hal yang random. Ntar ada suara. Wah ini. Ya, kadang suka belajar hal yang baru gitu. Misalnya, apa ya, tiba-tiba belajar ngedit. Tiba-tiba mencari pelajaran yang lain. Browsing yang random lah. Terus apa ya, dulu pernah juga belajar tulisan tangan. Jadi tulisan tangan kita bisa dipelajari gitu. Misalnya tulisan kita tegak lurus berarti orangnya serius. Terus kalau miring ke kanan orangnya apa yang namanya itu percaya diri. Terus kalau ke kiri orangnya minder gitu. Jangan lupa minum IC. Iya. Nggak apa masih belum haus. Baru minum teh es tadi. Pas makan ya. Makan nasi goreng tadi. Pergi ke rumah makan. Makan nasi goreng. Tom, kamu bicara denganku di TV katanya. Aku sangat merindukanmu Tom. Did you, apakah kamu? Harus ini, write this. Tom. Bucin Tom dia. Nasi goreng iya. Woi. Cewek. Apa nih cewek dan cewek. Tetap Tom iya. Iya. Terus lagi apa ya informasi yang receh. Kalau kita gimana ya meletakkan kedua tangan ke jari-jari gitu. Yang mana di atas sama yang di bawah ibu jari kita. Jadi ketahuan yang mana dominan otot kanan sama otot kiri. Lah jatuh. Seriusan aku baru tahu tulisan tangan bisa dipelajari. Iya bisa dipelajari. Namanya grafologi. Terus apa ya? Psikologi ada juga. Jadi yang manusia punya kecerdasan macam-macam ya. Kecerdasan dalam visual. Terus kecerdasan dalam pendengaran. Terus apa lagi banyak ya kecerdasan. Kalau tidak salah ada 9 ya. Intinya manusia macam-macam punya bakat. Jadi kita tidak bisa membedakan menyamakan satu orang dengan yang lain karena setiap orang berbeda-beda.
I could see Cauldron Lake. I thought I could make out the spot
Kalau
where the
kiri,
island and
iya
the
kalau
cabin had
kiri
been. There was a
minder
light near
gitu.
it. It had to be a boat.
Kalau tidak salah atau introvert lah. Saya juga introvert ya. Jadi sesama introvert.
I
Coba
was
Bang
close
Haris.
now. I had to get there fast. I dreaded what I would find.
Menatap orang pun apa ya menatap lawan jenis pun kadang mengalihkan mata gitu.
Wait! That you? Wait! Hey, I'm here! I'm coming! No! Get away! Sorry. Please, lady. The boss didn't know who he was messing with. I didn't know. I swear, I didn't know. We don't have his wife. We don't know where she is. She's probably drowned. We just said we had her to make him play ball. You see? They got him writing for us. Please,
I see, iya.
please. Oh.
Diancam kah?
Sorry, please don't hurt me.
Dari mana asal suaranya? Nih ya begitulah. Kalau berhadapan dengan orang, saya tidak berani natap mukanya. Tapi kadang-kadang aja ya. Mungkin kalau saya sudah mengumpulkan keberanian, mungkin bisa menatap orangnya. Kalau selalu dekat mungkin saya takut gitu. Oke, cerita. Ini. Nah. Entitas ke-8. maksudnya monster lah. Monster kegelapan yang sumber masalah di dunia ini. Oke, sudah kelar chapter episode berapa nih? Episode 3.
Previously on Alan Wake, I'm hunted by
Oke,
the law.
lanjut ke karena copyright katanya.
Are you seriously telling me that writer just took out my deputies?
A thriller I supposedly wrote is coming true. The genre of the story seems to be shifting. It's turning
Iya.
into a horror story.
Nah
I was
ini,
told that Alice had
ibu-ibu
been
ini.
kidnapped.
Ibu-ibu
That
itu
was a
yang
lie.
identitas jahatnya.
Wife! We don't know where she is!
Her purported kidnapper was eaten up by the dark presence before it attacked
Nah,
me.
penculiknya dimakan oleh Dark atau kegelapan. Oke, the truth.
Alan,
Kenyataan.
baby, it was just
Nah ini bini dia,
Alice.
istrinya si Alan.
Hartman. I
Lah.
fell.
I had to give you a sedative. Don't fight it. You went through another rough period.
What?
Right now, it's very important that you stay calm. We don't want you to have another episode. You're a patient at my clinic. Have been for a while now. The shock of your wife's death triggered a mental illness.
No, you lied.
You're suffering from various symptoms of undifferentiated schizophrenia.
Dikatain skizofrenia katanya.
okay, Alan. Just let go.
Dikira kita kena skizofrenia. Jadi skizofrenia itu ada kita berhalusinasi bahwa ada sesuatu kayak hantu gitu, tapi bentuknya kayak apa ya?
I
Kayak
felt groggy. Whatever Hartman had bumped in me was making me numb.
kayak bentuknya
I
apa
felt
ya?
like this was
Transparan
happening to
gitu,
someone
tapi
else.
masih berbentuk
Someone I
gitu.
was watching on television.
Terus
Couldn't
membisikkan
think. Couldn't focus.
sesuatu kepada kita. Jadi ada bisikan yang jahat, ada yang bisikan yang baik. Itu pas saya dengar
The
ya.
door was
Ziplah.
locked. I was a prisoner here.
Oh, kita terkunci katanya, saya adalah apa ya?
Good evening, Alan.
Benjir.
Feeling better now? Feeling calm?
Yeah. I see you brought your pet gorilla with you. So sure, I'm calm. I
Jadi
the
tawanan
message
dikunci.
loud and clear.
Quite right. That's the spirit. You're being very brave, Alan. I understand you're confused. I would be more concerned if you weren't suspicious of me. I don't blame you for it.
Big of you.
Now, why don't you come with me? We'll reacquaint you with my clinic and go over everything you might have forgotten. Little walk and some fresh air? Yes, it will do you
Iya,
good.
sama-sama. Oke, tapi saya masih belum bisa belajar memahami bahasa Inggris ya. Apalagi ke tingkat berbicara. Creative flow. Kreatif dari mana? Ya pembuat buku. Untuk para pencipta. Pencipta maksudnya kayak musisi, penulis, novelis, atau gimana lah. Ke psikologi seperti dia. Psikolog seperti dia untuk konsultasi. Itu
This
maksudnya.
corridor is for patients. Most of them aren't here right now. Jack took them out for a fishing trip, except for the ones who are particularly vulnerable, of course. I encourage creativity as a part of the recovery process here at Cauldron Lake Lodge. I specialize in treating artists.
I bet you do.
Splendid, Alan. I
Splendid.
honestly believe we can get this thing under control if we work together. This way, Alan.
Oh ya, informasi satunya belum. Nah itu. Ya, Z plus. Oke. Ya masih bingung,
Now,
kadang dipanggil
Alan, from
abang-abangan.
past experience with you, I know I need to get right into the heart of
Mungkin
the matter
gara-gara
as
dua
quickly
admin
as
ya.
I can after an episode. So I'm just going to say this. Alice is dead.
No.
You're in a
Alice
very
sudah meninggal
vulnerable
katanya.
state until you understand and accept this. Alice drowned, and you couldn't face that. You're suffering from hallucinations.
Dianggap
paranoid
halusinasi,
delusions,
paranoid
unusual
katanya.
thinking, an obsession about light and
Terlalu
darkness,
banyak.
a feeling that everything revolves around you, your thoughts and
Sabar,
dreams.
iya.
Your mind has constructed an elaborate fantasy
Ay, harus
scenario
kita
in which your
bersabar.
writings are affecting reality. She has been kidnapped and supernatural forces of darkness are trying to stop you.
Dianggap halusinasi kata-katanya.
I wasn't ready for another shot, so I went along with it. He had to be lying. But under the influence of the drug he had given me, I had to fight not to believe his words.
Sepertinya gitu, karena dua admin jadi dipanggil bang kamu. Iya, begitu ya. Apa nih? Jam matahari. Penasaran punya ini gimana ya? Orang zaman dulu kalau pakai zaman matahari begini. Beyond the shadow you settle for. There's a miracle illuminate in the memory of a dear friend and a pot. Sedikit aja paham ya tadi. Bayon itu di bawah nggak sih? Lupa.
It's all in your
Bersama.
head. You've
Lupa.
been making it up. Apart from
Shadow,
the tragic
kegelapan.
accident with your wife, no one has
Astaga, kasihan dianggap halusinasi.
delusions are
Iya.
just a manifestation.
Mungkin dokternya
Trying to protect you from
berusaha menyadarkan dengan
Unless
caranya
we
dia.
fight the fantasy, it will return. I know the instinct is to resist me, but think about it. Doesn't
Harus
this make far more sense than the insane supernatural conspiracy you have concocted
Nah,
in your mind?
cuma konspirasi
You're a
doang
skeptic
katanya
by
supernatural
nature.
kamu.
We both know this.
Masalah ini katanya.
Everything can be explained
Kebanyakan mengada-ngada
logically.
katanya. Harus menggunakan
Never
logika
get
katanya.
tired of this view. Very inspiring, isn't it?
Sangat
Called the
inspiring,
lake spread
inspirasi,
below us.
sangat
I could
menginspirasi
see New
katanya.
York Peak on
Pemandangan
the
ini
other side
katanya.
of the lake. I thought I could make out the spot where Diver's Isle had been when I arrived with Alice. Now there was nothing but waves.
It seems there's a storm coming. Funny, I don't
Setelah
recall there
ada
being
hujan.
a mention of that in the weather forecast. Well, no matter.
Sudah
This way,
deh,
follow me.
jarang ngikutin katanya.
Alan, what I'm telling you is good news. Right now we're in control. Every time you have a relapse, it gets more and more difficult to resurface from the dark depths of your imagination. Not
Iya,
surprising,
dianggap
considering your
berimajinasi.
profession. Imagination is what you work with. After all, your
Kamu kan
nightmares,
bekerja
this
dengan
becomes an immense
imajinasi.
relief to you.
Kenapa
If
malah
it
terganggu
doesn't,
dengan hal
why
itu
is
katanya.
that? Because I'm lying? Or because you don't want to admit that you're not well? It's very natural for you to think of me as your enemy. It's part of the illness.
I let him
After
talk.
all,
Hartman
I'm the one
obviously
Aku
who
biarkan
loved his
dia,
own voice.
aku
His
biarkan dia
words
bicara.
echoed madly inside my head.
But I can't
I dug my
do it
nails
by
into the
myself.
palms of my hands to stay
Ada banyak
focused.
kali kata-katanya.
Once you accept that, we can begin the journey towards your recovery. Come along. Let's go inside.
Oke, masuk ke dalam katanya. Nah ini para
Here's the
Pero,
entrance
ano?
to the office wing. That's for staff only. You were impressed by my trophies when you first arrived here. I do love to hunt. The great outdoors, man versus nature. It's wonderful stuff.
Pretty damn wonderful, yeah.
ano para musisi sama ano.
Yeah, that's right. I got you. I'm a real bad dream, mister. You should be afraid of me. Don't want to run
Aku
into
kalau
me. and
denger
that's
atau
for
baca
sure.
bahasa Inggris suka jadi
Please,
ngantuk.
Emerson. Mr.
Iya kah?
Wake is confused enough as it is.
Yeah, you'd like me to go away
Emang
so you
harus
won't be
ano ya,
scared. But You can't just decide
Harus
what
punya
kind of
hobi
dream you
begitu.
have or when you have
Harus
it.
ada ketertarikan.
Okay, okay, sorry.
Sama saya
sorry.
juga. Kalau matematika
That's
kurang ya.
Emerson.
Pas ujian
We're
nasional dapat
actually making
20.
some progress with him, I'm happy to say.
Kurang
He works
pintar saya
on
matematika.
video
Elbow strike.
games.
Ooh,
It's
yeah.
trash, of course, but it does involve
yeah.
some
Aduh, nah kan
small
jadi aneh
creative
gitu.
effort, which makes him receptive to my
Dia
therapeutic methods.
merawat para
No kidding.
musisi kreator gitu. Yang punya gangguan psikis.
Come, Alan, this way. Now, you might have noticed the typewriter in your room. You've been writing as a part of
Jadi
the
tadi anggap
therapy.
gila gitu lah.
As soon as you feel up to it,
Atau
you should continue.
berhalusinasi.
My rheumatism's killing me. There's a storm coming. Oh, what a storm.
I hope it wipes this place off the face of the earth.
And these two
Night
are
Springs.
the Anderson
Udah sampai
brothers,
di klinik kah?
Odin and Tor.
Iya.
They had a,
Sudah sampai
how should I put this?
sama
A
Dr.
heavy
Huffman nih.
metal band in the 70s and 80s
Old Gods
called
of
Old
Asgard ya.
Gods of Asgard. They even
Dewa-dewa
adopted
tua
new
dari
first
Asgard.
names to complete the image of
Absen.
Viking gods. After the band broke up, they
Iya,
lived on
sudah
a farm
absen.
nearby. They are, well, in advanced stages of dementia. They're well cared for, TLC and all that. There's nothing more that can be done. I'm afraid that the rock
Main
and
apa nih?
roll lifestyle
Ular tangga gitu ya?
has left its mark.
Welcome Bang San.
No, that won't do.
Sebenarnya
I'm so
dulu
sorry
SD
to cut
aku
this
pasti
short for
bahasa
now,
Inggris,
Alan. The
tapi sejak
power has
SMP
been
kena
acting
bully
up.
guru
I'd better
bahasa
go check
Inggris.
on it. We'll
Jadinya
continue
entah
this
kenapa
soon.
aku nggak bisa bahasa Inggris dan suka
Meanwhile,
ngantuk
when
kalau
you
berkaitan
feel
bahasa
up to
Inggris.
it, return to your room and try to
Trauma
write.
gitu kah?
It really is for the best.
Yang sabar ya.
Don't you
Ya
think?
oke. Kena bully. Makanya meski aku belajar bahasa Inggris tapi
I'd like
lagi
to
tetap
bash
nggak
his
bisa.
head in with a hammer.
Oh,
Kayaknya ada
he'd
sesuatu
love to
yang
fish out our secrets,
di
but he
bagian
has no clue.
ah,
He's not crazy enough. Not
bagian
crazy like us, Sonny.
psikologis kamu yang
Being crazy's
yang
a
bikin kamu
requirement,
trauma
Sonny.
terhadap
Who else
bahasa
could
Inggris.
understand
Jadi
the
tidak
world
ada
when it's like
motivasi
this?
lagi.
It takes crazy to know crazy.
That's the sanest thing I've heard in a while.
Say, you're all right, Tom.
Mungkin gitu ya.
We like
Iya.
it, don't we, bro? He's gotta go to the farm.
The Anderson Farm.
Motivasi kamu jadi terhalang gara-gara trauma.
Lest we to forget. A crash course. All you need to know to get your head right. You need to find the message.
Here, Sonny, here's something for you. Gave me a rash, but I kept it safe from these
Tulis tulisan kita kah?
My head was
Kembali ke
clearing,
room kita.
or according to Hartman, I was sinking back into the fantasy. I
Harus
was
kembali
convinced he
ke
was lying to
fantasi.
me about everything. Crazy or not, the Andersons made more sense.
Sebenarnya ini Dr. Hartman ini jahat coy. Sebenarnya ya. Sorry, agak spoiler dikit. Katanya jahat.
Gotcha. Doc's got me looking after Wake here, but holler if they get too rowdy.
I'll do that, Birch.
Hey, Wake, why don't you humor Dr. Hartman and give the writing a shot, huh?
Something's wrong.
Typewriter's in your room.
Nah,
Not myself.
jadi diri kita nih.
It's hard to think that there's a shadow inside my head. I can
Ad-
only
ada
focus on
bayangan di
writing.
dalam
Everything else is a
pikiranku.
blur. I'm trapped in this cabin. Have been for days, but it's
Nah,
always dark outside. My editor is real. I saw her again. She's not human. It's not human. A dark presence is wearing the old
Seriusan?
woman's face. She was
Iya,
covered in
seriusan.
clinging shadows.
Jahat
There's a hole in her
aslinya.
chest where her heart should be.
Nah ini kan diri kita nih. Nah
I think
tiba-tiba
I
di dalam
made a
TV.
horrible mistake. I don't
Tapi
think I'm
kelihatan
any
kalau
closer
Dr.
to
Hartman
saving
agak aneh.
Alice.
Iya,
It's been lying to
emang
me,
agak aneh.
using me to
Pasti
get the
kalau
story
hal-hal yang
across,
berbau
and the
aneh
story will come
pasti
true.
ada motifnya gitu. Wih, kayak detektif ya. Waduh, ada barcode. Bisa
Hartman
di-scan
wanted me
nggak?
to write. I knew I couldn't.
Ada
But I
barcode
figured I should
cuy.
just play along for now. It was the only thing I could do with Nurse Birch watching me like a hawk.
Bisa di-scan gak sih? Ntar coba scan ya. Download scanner dulu. Sambil santai lah. Tidak tahu ada bisa yang di scan. Bukan apa-apa ya ternyata. Cuma gambar foto developernya lainnya. Jadi besok ada kegiatan. Ada live lagi kayaknya sama Bang Neo. Main Resident Evil yang 6. Ada apa, Anu Yuki? Oh, udah bisa di scan. Dapat dapat foto developer gitu. Dapat foto developer lah. Setelah di scan ternyata. Terus balik ke
Hartman had mentioned that the power had been acting up. Maybe that was the reason for the generator and the work light on the balcony. The generator hadn't been activated, and there was no key.
You can get
Tidak ada
to your room
kunci
by those
di.
stairs, Wake.
Siapa bicara dengan kita? Oke.
The white glare of the blank page in front of me hurt my eyes.
Oke.
My hands
Ajak
began
bicara
to
kah?
shake uncontrollably.
Besok ya, besok. Besok ada sih
Hey, Wake, you stay here. I'm gonna go
Ya,
see what's up.
kerja
You
lah.
just keep doing what you're
Di
doing. Be
IRL,
cool, okay?
di dunia nyata.
I didn't know what the chaos was all about, but it could be my only chance of getting out of here.
Kali aja. Gue kira ngajak bicara gitu.
Oh, afraid of the crazy brothers, are ya? Not so weak now, are we?
Dapat manuskrip.
Things are unraveling fast, aren't they?
Nggak apa-apa, aman. Ini
Hartman kept talking,
cerita.
giving Barry the grand tour, clearly proud of the place. He went on and on about his hunting trophies, and Barry was impressed. But he was...
Iya. Ceritanya. Manuskrip maksudnya cerita. Oke. Iya. Harus sama alat. Tapi kadang bangun kesiangan ya. Bangun jadi jam 6. Jawab. Mungkin karena sih.
Sinclair
Lah.
was bad. That wasn't a love tap. The crazy old fart hit
Jatuh
hard.
kenapa?
And if she was one of Hartman's goons, she had it coming. I had to get to Hartman's office. He had taken all
Mabuk kah?
my manuscript
Atau
pages.
pingsan?
That's where he'd been keeping them.
Dia tahu ya besoknya Bang Haris bakal live juga atau enggak. gantian lah intinya ya. Gantian live-nya.
Hartman, do you hear me? I'm gonna sue your crazy quack ass to shreds!
Barry?
Ow! About time!
Barry! Man, am I glad to see you. We need to get to Hartman's office.
It's right next door.
You okay?
Yeah. I mean, no! The cops found me at Rose's trailer, but they didn't hassle me too much. I'm obviously a victim in this, and I demanded to be treated as such. Or else I'd sue their asses. Speaking of asses, that Fed gave me a real hard time, but I had no clue where you were. That guy's crazy, Al. But he let me go, and then
Iya,
I get called to
gantian.
Hartman, that
Sebenarnya
son of a bitch,
bisa
who
tuh
tells me
galiran
you're here,
Bang
and I
Haris
should come
besok.
pick you up, but when I got
Tapi
here,
karena
two
besok ada jadwal,
goons clobbered me and stuck me
gak
in
tahu ya
there.
mungkin
What's
main
with the
sejam doang kayaknya
I
Bang
stole it
Haris ya.
from the diner to piss off Rose after what she did to us. That'll teach her.
Mungkin game yang kemarin
That's a harsh punishment. Come on, pal. We
yang
need to
apa
go.
ya, yang manusia yang apa itu, manusia berpedang itulah game sulit itulah, mungkin dilanjutkan dia atau game yang lain ya.
These were all the pages I had on me. And more.
Alan, please. You're sliding
Nah,
back
lah.
to the...
Tell me one more lie and I'll shoot you in the face.
Ah, well, it was worth a shot. Really, Wake, come on. Let's work together on this. You have no idea.
Hartman, shut up! Barry, get
Nah,
out
lah.
of here. I'll catch up with you. Get a car.
Kenapa nih?
Oh, Al, let's just...
Go!
Dr. Hartman,
Wake, listen to me. This is a mistake.
serunya jujur.
Don't you see? Together we can create something absolutely wonderful. With your ability and mine.
Nah lah. Dengan kemampuanmu katanya, kita bisa melakukan sesuatu. Nah, kami sudah tahu motifnya si Dr. Hartman. Nah, diserang sama entitas kegelapan. Si Dr. Hartman sebenarnya tahu kan, dia sadar ya kan tadi. Dengan kemampuanmu ya katanya.
Way out.
Aduh. Keluar dari klinik katanya. Aduh.
I needed light to get the possessed bookshelves out of my way.
Aduh. Ke atas, ke atas, ke atas. Oke, dihidupkan lagi. Nah, center itu nggak ada soalnya. Oke, harusnya sudah berkurang drastis ya. Kenapa saya jadi hajar? Kita harus ke Oke. Aman. Ya lewat sini. El kabur. Aduh. Lewat sini kah? Bukan. Sini kah? Bukan juga. Aduh, kena. Oh. No, mati. No, mati cuy. Ayo cepet sini. Cepat. Harus dipancing kayaknya. Sama kayak tadi. Lah. Nyangkut. Semangat, iya semangat ya. Ntar ini kenapa dah? Jangkut anunya, bolanya. Alahai. Sini. Oke. Aduh, mati lagi. Ngulang. Dikit banget lagi tuh. Ya, harus diandam dulu. Sudah. Kalau gak diandam gak bisa hancur. Ya, sudah aman ya. Akhirnya.
Hey, come on! We gotta get going! I found the car, but the gate's locked. You're gonna have to go through the hedge maze over there.
Barry, I don't have a light.
Take this, Al!
Oke, terima kasih senternya. Ayo cepat cepat cepat. Ya sudah. Sini ya. Waduh, masuk ke dalam labirin. Bentar, OTW, saya nge-heal dulu. Bukan, cari peluru. Nah tuh. Ada beginian lagi. Oke. Dari mana musuhnya tadi? Ini ya? Bukan. Sini berarti. Dapat tulisan. Iya, nggak apa-apa. Udah. Rame kali. Udah. Sudah berapa jam kita mainnya? 5 menit lagi 2 jam ya. Oke, sampai 2 jam ya. Terus bebas lah. Mau bicara apa gitu. Kadang juga bingung mau bicara apa. Sini kah? Bukan ya? Ya bukan. Terus sini ya? Oh betul kayaknya. Oke. Nah ini Dr. Hartman ya. Keserupan dia. Aduh rame kali. Sudah kalah sih Dokter Hartman ya. Itulah tanda anu. Oke, tinggal tunggu checkpoint. Tawana saat aku memerlukanmu. Senjata shotgun. Oke, sampai sini dulu ya. Yang penting sudah checkpoint. Kita cukupkan main game ya. Yo. Nah, jadi begitulah perjalanan Alan Wake dalam memberantas semua kegelapan dengan senternya. Ya, padahal normal ya. Tapi kayaknya mungkin saya tidak terlalu jago ya. Masih menghafal. Gimana? Langsung udahan kah atau ada yang perlu kita bicarakan ya? Saya juga bingung mau bicara apa. Lah, koneksi sudah aman. Tiba-tiba banget ya. Mending sih istirahat aja, besok kan kerja. Oke, begitu ya. Terima kasih sudah mengingatkan. Yuki atau Kakak Yuki, the best ya. Next time aja kita ngobrolnya. Oke. Atau iya, sampai jumpa. Yuki atau Kakak Yuki. Terima kasih sudah mampir sama Bang Nit, sama Bang San. Terus siapa lagi? Siapa aja tadi yang komen? Orangnya hilang tadi. Iya, terima kasih yang sudah mampir. Lupa sebutkan orangnya tadi. Ya sudahlah. Sampai jumpa di next yang akan datang. Wassalamualaikum. Selamat istirahat. Sampai jumpa. Di sana kan udah jam 11-an. Iya. Selamat istirahat semua. Dadah. Dia mau jam 11. Goodbye. Dadah. Assalamualaikum. Waduh. Macam-macam. Udah.